Okay, welcome back. I want to jump right back into what we were talking about before, which it was that we were talking about how that I live in the West in the United States, and that my beliefs are not completely westernized as far as being Christian and such. I was raised a Christian, and I'm sure that I'll hold a lot of those beliefs till the day that I die. However, that doesn't really encompass all that I believe. I have a lot of beliefs from a lot of different religions and parts of the world. And what we were talking about before is that, and that's been one of my personal problems, and that's why I would like to talk about it right now, is that sometimes when these supposedly educated doctors are taking your money and they're trying to heal you in their doctor offices here in the West or anywhere, it could be people listening from anywhere in the world to this, and that's one of the beautiful things about YouTube and the internet. But in my experience, these people were taking my money and trying to cure me, and I believe most of them really wanted to help me and help people, but sometimes that's not the type of healing that we need. That's not the type of real healing that I really needed. And I think the confusion lies often in Western medicine that spiritual problems can manifest into physical problems. And when you have and it can manifest in all types of problems. And excuse me, some of them severe. And so when you're trying to have a doctor of physical medicine cure these problems, they may or may not be successful, and they may not be actually getting to the real problem. So, and one of my, I love living in this country, and I love, I think I was extremely lucky to be born here. I know, people by nature complain a lot about politics and everything here, but you could be born in some war-torn country somewhere with nothing but a small bowl of rice to eat every day, and that's, I assure you, a more difficult life. So I think I'm very lucky to have been born here. But however, if there's a fault, one main fault, which relates to medicine and psychiatric care and generalized healing in this country, and probably in most westernized countries, is that you cannot just go out in public. You can go drive down Main Street and find a dentist. You can go find a doctor's office. You can find a walk-in clinic. You probably know where your local hospital is. If you break your arm or something, you know where to drive to go have somebody put you in a cast. And you can find people to heal these obvious types of problems, but it's very difficult, I've found, in the West, in my experience, to find spiritual healers. It seems to be something that's evil or magical or not real. The people's emotions and the spiritual world, the feelings you feel, for some reason, here, is just not real. If you're depressed or you have questions about your religion, you're probably going to be criticized. You'll probably be made to feel that you're wrong for questioning your beliefs, or even sometimes for being unhappy. Sometimes people will actually blame you because you're sick. I've had actually bosses that did this. It's probably more common than maybe I even think. And I think that's the culture, really, in many Christian nations, is that the spiritual world is just one that can only be defined by words, and those words are in the way that spirituality and people's feelings are in this culture are defined just simply by words that are in a book. And if you can't relate to it or it doesn't help you, then you're probably going to be considered a weirdo or wrong or evil somehow, or helpless or hopeless or a bum or something like that. Fill in the blank. So I mean, you can't just really, in this country, you can find people who use uh, sort of non-westernized methods of healing, but you can't just flip open a phone book and find them. So it makes it very difficult when somebody has problems that are manifesting, and maybe the true nature of those are spiritual or with their emotions, or at least that's a part of it, and that these problems are manifesting into things such as substance abuse or career problems or actual physical problems, because I hope you know that the power of the mind is incredible. When you're stressed, I mean, have you ever uh, been in a situation where you were frightened or stressed and you began to sweat, or you felt hot, or you trembled? Well, that's the power of your emotions that's actually affecting your body. And where in this world can you go drive down in my world? Where in my world, where I live, can I go drive down Main Street and find a spiritual healer? Can I go into the local drugstore and find somebody who's going to be able to heal me spiritually or heal my feelings? You really think I'm going to be able to go find somebody in the psychiatric profession who actually understands me and is going to be able to heal me here? I'll have great hopes of that if I'm feeling hopeless and depressed. I'm going to try to believe in it when I go there and I'm handing over all my money, but the chances of it actually happening might not be that good. I'm going to have great hopes, of course. You really want to believe when you got big problems, and sometimes there's just not a real solution, because it's my belief, like I've said, where can you go drive down Main Street here and just find, spiritual healer, $15? There is a place somewhere nearby here, I think, that's, psychic readings and such. But I've never been in there. I'm not sure if that place is legitimate or not. I do believe in psychics. But I also believe that there are a lot of people who claim to be psychic who have no talent whatsoever. And that's probably a different subject for a different time. Because those people aren't necessarily healers. Some psychics are healers, and some are simply people who are psychic that can give to you information that you might not be able to understand yourself. But so anyway, I want to start to open this door to healing from the inside here, and it can be very difficult to find. It can be very difficult to find. When you live in a world that's structured in a certain way, and that these type of beliefs just aren't the norm, and then you can't just go out there and find somebody who's gonna help you do this. It can be very troubling. So I hope that you're identifying with some of the things that I'm saying, because basically, I feel like I'm trying to present something that I've always been looking for, but I've never been able to find. Something I know exists, but just is difficult to find here, which is somebody who knows what true healing is. And even with the internet, I haven't really, I suppose I could look a little harder, but I've never really found like a true talented actual healer. So we're going to be talking about that. You probably have disappointments with your doctors or your psychiatrist or your boss, or just maybe with yourself. That's okay. We're not going to worry too much about these type of things, because it also is common in our culture that we have to, if there's a problem, or even if there's not a problem sometimes, we're made to believe that we have to worry about it, that time is taking away. And that is definitely a big belief in our culture, that time is ticking away. In the next 5 minutes, you could live or die. Your boss is going to probably behead you, or something like that. There's always some type of a TV is telling you every day. You can turn on the news, it's the same every day. There's a bomb going off, somebody got shot, the world's blowing up, the economy's going to pieces. Don't buy into this type of thinking. Even myself, I'm sure, have become somewhat of a slave to it, but the world is not going to end in the next 5 minutes. We've got plenty of time today and for the next couple days to solve the problems that we're going to be talking about. We're reaching 10 minutes again, so I will hope to see you on the next video.